Good evening and welcome to all our viewers. This is Prithviraj for VU TV by Vijay Bhumi, and this is yet again one of our special segments that we host every week called as the Express with Ease, wherein we get students, talented, dynamic students on board to beat the bosom, to nip all the matters in the bud, and to discuss and to help us get a fresh and new perspectives and insights on topics that are trending and are riding high on tabloids. And today is no different because we are here to discuss yet another, perhaps the most important topic currently, if I may say so, because the way all of this came together and the way it was reported and the way it's been buzzing in the social media world as well as the news media organizations, it has become chaotic, and it's been over a week now. Perhaps it's been not over a week, but it's been a week exactly since we've been nastily greeted by this. And it was on Sunday that the nasty Pandora's box was opened. And yes, I'm talking about the Pegasus, the unfortunate Pegasus Snoop scandal. That the unfortunately India is now caught up in this nasty Pandora's box, which is why this week we decided to get to know a little about the spyware. Yes, the spyware itself, and also the Snoop story that is being circulated everywhere. We thought we should get our students to help us gain some perspective, to help us understand as to what's happened here, and to help us get to know as to what are the different roles that are to be played by different institutions which are unfortunately caught in the turmoil. So we have with us today three students who are going to talk to us about this story. Firstly, allow me to welcome Mr. Ashwini from Vijay Bhumi University. He's a student who is, hi, welcome Ashwini. Thank you for joining, and thank you for carving out time. And we also have Mr. Aman from Vijay Bhumi University. He's a law student. So Aman, thank you so much for joining in. Hearty welcome to you as well. Last, but like they say, never the least, I have a student, and he happens to be from the college that I have studied in. And it's Mr. Rahul. Rahul, thank you so much for carving out time. I know you had a pretty busy schedule with all your classes and with other sessions, but thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for participating. Now, before I get to the nitty gritty and the crux of the matter and involve all of you in this discussion that we are going to have, I'll just lay out the surface that we are going to construct this building today. So we are here to discuss about Pegasus. We are here to discuss about the Snoop scandal. And as a citizen of this country, as what I have seen the past 1 week, is that I understand that Pegasus is a malicious software. Yes, it's a malicious software which can be adopted by government agencies, and it was found by an Israeli firm, the NSO Groups. And what it basically does is, I'm telling you what my understanding is, what it basically does is it infiltrates smartphones, the two major ones, Android and iOS for that matter, which, by the way, we know how intricate the systems are. When we say that it infiltrates that, so it obviously instills fear in our minds. So we are talking about a malicious software of that standard. So this is our topic, and what I want from all three of you today is to understand the idea of Pegasus as to why was it in the picture firstly, and as per the reports and as per the claims, why did many governments want it in the first place? Why did they adopt their services in the first place? And I would also like to know about the technicalities of Pegasus itself. And I'm sure all our viewers would also want to know about that. So firstly, I'd like to request Ashwini to set the stage for us. I'll open the platform for you. And I want to know from you as to what do you understand about Pegasus, and as far as whatever you have read and whatever you have grasped about it, could you please tell us as to what Pegasus is all about and what are its functionalities?
Okay, sure, Prithvi.
Yeah.
So, to the best of my understanding, Pegasus, as you mentioned, is a spyware developed by the Israeli cybersecurity organization, the NSO Group, which is named by the founders, the NSO Group. So it is installed on the mobile phones, and it operates on the Android phones and also in the iOS users. So it instills a fear because it is capable of reading the text, it is capable of watching out the messages, the tracking the calls, passwords. So it totally captures the phone. And it also the thing is that it is a zero click attack, which is very commonly used. Zero click attack. Zero click attack is you don't need to click on a link before before the spywares which were installed. That was you have to click on a link or you have to download an app. So that the spyware was installed. But here, if there is a call you received from you received the call or there was a text sent to you, then on that basis also the spyware can attack your phone, and you won't be also wondering. Well, it will not also not notify you. Well, you can't also get to know that the spyware has been attacked. You have been watched out. You can't also know that, and that's the reason it is called a zero-day attack. Well, you can't be notified because the spyware has been attacked and all the information has been leaked. Okay, so this was basically done. This was basically done for the national security and for terrorism, for preventing terrorism, for and the after Osama bin Laden being the most wanted of the most wanted, many of the terrorists were catched out and uh, were have been have been under the snoop by this Pegasus software. So this was used for national security and preventing terrorism. And this was the NSO group only sold this to the government agencies.
Right.
Okay, but right now after the investigation by Amnesty International, there were 50,000 numbers were installed and there were 300 numbers from India. So which raised a question about which raised a question about the interventions of government and why it was sold to government and whom it is in targeted. So this was basically this was basically all about Pegasus as a spyware. It is damn dangerous because the functionalities and the threat it poses to the user's data
Right.
is 100 times more than any other spyware which is available in the market.
Right. Right. So I want to know, if it is so dangerous, if it was so, if it poses a threat of this standard that we're talking about right now, so do we as citizens, do we need to fear today that this might one day, maybe not today, it's not happened today because our names fortunately wasn't there in the list that was, allegedly claimed, all the names that were claimed to be, their numbers to be hacked, or their numbers to be as potentially being targeted. So I want to know from you, and anyone can pick this question. I want to know from you, we as citizens today, do we is this fear legitimate? Should we now fear that this might infiltrate our devices, this might infiltrate our personal space as well? Anyone can pick this question. Aman, do you want to go? I hope you got the question. As citizens, do we need to fear Pegasus? If not today, it might be tomorrow. But what's the fear here? Is this legitimate here?
From my perspective, you can say that if Pegasus, how this they are blaming this, that government is snooping our data. So if really in this way it is done, then this can be a disaster, no doubt.
Right.
Means in the way, means if they are not following a procedure, if they are not following the Telegraph Act 1885, if they are not following the IT Act, means what the proper procedure is. If they are really following just to retain as a ruling party, if they are really using this spyware to, then this can be a disaster, no doubt. Now there is a question that whether this is really happening or not. So I mean, now you have to look into the things from both perspectives, because the opposition party who ruled for 50 years, okay, almost 50 years. Now it is deprived from the ruling party, means from ruling. So what they want to catch it again.
Right.
They want to go, yeah. So there is always possibility that they will go to the international power there to shake hand with them, and then they will try to come back in the ruling as a ruling party. So there is always possibility in that. So you should directly, literally, you should not believe.
Right.
And I will explain later how I'm making supportive statement, but for the your question,
Sure.
this is my answer.
Sure. Now, Rahul, let me tell you, the government, when the government was, hounded with accusations by the people who were in the list. Like I said, there were some prominent names that came by, and I'll read out what the government's initial response was, what they said about the said scandal, and when their names was actually taken into the picture. This is what they actually said, and I just want to quote here that the government has said, and I quote, the allegations regarding government surveillance on specific people has no concrete basis or truth associated with it. Now, what my question is here, I would like to say is, there was a big word used here, surveillance. Surveillance is a very big word. And if this accusation goes on to be true, if it's a fact that we are talking about something as bad as surveillance here, do you think the government's response, what we just saw, was that sufficient, or do you think government has a lot more explanation to do?
Well, first of all, I did not pay much attention to the whole situation that was built up, because I looked into the files, like how much cost the Pegasus really costs.
Right.
And it was quoted at one place that Pegasus for one country was cost, offered at a price of $610,000 for 10 iPhones. That is almost 48 lakh rupees for 10 cell phones.
Right.
And no government in the world, especially India, will pay that much amount when it already has already set up a very well established critical infrastructure.
Right. Right.
So,
but do we have that infrastructure? Do they have that infrastructure? Because if they have that kind of infrastructure, if you're talking about something as serious as Pegasus, if government has that infrastructure, then again there will be another question asked as to why does the government have that kind of infrastructure? And okay, I'll come back to that later. You can continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no need of using Pegasus to do their own level of surveillance. In fact, if I might tell you about one more kind of a similar attack, it's called man in the middle attack. Okay. So when our aircraft lands, if we are flying to a major airport and our aircraft lands, the first thing that we do is switch off the airplane mode, and directly contact our family members that we have reached safely.
Right.
Now here's the thing. When our aircraft lands, there's a very small mobile tower nearby that captures and plays as the middleman between the cell phone and the satellite or the server.
Sure.
Due to using that very specific tower, the government actually goes through our data. Not everybody, only a specific individual. They try to look for the certain flights in which the special individual is coming.
Right.
And they go through and see how much this person.
Yeah.
Rahul,
can I speak?
I'm sorry, Aman, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to speak.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Rahul, I'm so sorry you were stuck for a minute. Aman, just a second.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay.
Sorry.
Aman, we'll just get back to you. We'll just hear what he's got to say. Yeah. Yeah, just.
So So I was, as I was saying, it is not needed for you Indian government to use Pegasus. It is very costly. We have more such instruments to do the surveillance, and it is not used blatantly or anywhere. It is very specific, very targeted, because the Supreme Court of India directly told us that it ruled that under Article 21, right to privacy is a fundamental right.
Sure.
Privacy cannot be breached. Yeah. If at all Pegasus is used in such a way that it it is not used to target specific individual, or it is used for a huge amount of people, it is breaching their privacy, and the Supreme Court will not tolerate it. So it is not.
Give me 1 second, because we have a law student here. I just want to carry this question over, because he mentioned about Article 21, and he spoke about right to privacy, which is there in our country. But right to privacy, don't you think that it will guard people who have ill intentions? Then what about those people who are outright going on a spree to unleash terrorism, or some criminals So what, explain to us right to privacy, and what kind of a franchise it is. Is it a free franchise? Is it applicable to anybody? And can anyone, in the name of right to privacy, can anyone do absolutely anything? So explain to us, Aman, talk to us about the right to privacy.
So you are pointing right only that whether it is applicable for everybody or not. It is not applicable for everybody.
Right, right.
So it is applicable for the, it is, he quoted the Supreme Court judgment where it is, where Supreme Court said that right to privacy, it comes under the Article 21.
Yeah.
Okay. And it comes under the right to life. Okay. So, and the other fundamental right is right to speech also, it can cover. Okay.
Sure.
So then Supreme Court added one more point in the same judgment saying that right to privacy is okay, but when the matter comes to the nation's security,
sure.
When the matter comes to the to keep the integrity of the nation, to retain the integrity of the nation, you can't exercise this fundamental right. So it is completely, it is countered by the Supreme Court itself.
Right.
Okay. So it is matter of fundamental right, and for the political perspective, I would like to add my point. Sure. That I would like to add, whatever is happening in the parliament or whatever some media organization is doing, and whatever is happening in parliament, I believe this. If you ask me that even parliamentarian is misusing some article, if you are, they are having right to ask for they can ask for discussion in the parliament under Article 267, means 267, like this something is there. Right. So they can ask for discussion for anything. Okay, nobody can say that no, you can't ask. Okay, right? But they're misusing it. How? Because once you have already given the same act, you have given, because India has not signed for any international convention, or India has not passed any act like anything that Indian government cannot monitor your whatever you are chatting in WhatsApp, whatever you are doing. Indian government cannot monitor at any cost. There is nothing like that in bill. There is a terms and condition given that in this condition, in these circumstances, it can be done, right? So it is given there. So now what I want to point out, the parliamentarian can raise this issue, okay, either to cancel this act, okay, either to cancel this, or to bring, that is already pending one act, privacy of data, something like that, 2019 act is pending there. They can ask that you have to bring it, you have to implement it as soon as possible. They can ask for that. They can ask for a policy, means to discuss on the policy that whether this is necessary or not. They can ask for the I'm just saying that parliamentarian can use this, but parliamentarian can't waste the time, waste time by saying that I have right to discussion, I have right to ask for discussion under Article 267, saying that for anything, means already you have made a act. Now, if somebody is violating that, like, let's judicial process see that, na. Let's judiciary see that thing, na. Why you are interpreting? If your phone is being hacked, then you go directly, you can enter into the Supreme Court, saying that you are given power by Article 32. Okay, Article 32, that in the fundamental right you can directly approach Supreme Court. Why you are not going to submit your phone? You can ask, my lord, my data is being hacked, my phone is being hacked, my privacy is being checked by other people, my fundamental right is being destroyed. This thing you can directly say there, na? Why you are wasting time? Means already it has to be done by other person. Why are you not doing so? Because you know that only you can do that by doing, means you can tease government by obstacling in the parliamentary procedure. Only you can force by that way. If you are going to Supreme Court, you will be slapped by Supreme Court because you are not having real facts.
I wanted to add a point over here. Like Aman said, that Supreme Court will not, leave anyone like this.
Hmm.
Supreme Court has also been very active in the political matters of the country in most recent times, be it the judicial activism that was shown
Yeah.
by the Supreme Court during the farmer protest, in which they set up a special committee,
Right.
or the sedition act that has been, questioned in the recent.
Sure.
So the Supreme Court and the High Court are not leaving any stone unturned to, protect the rights of the citizen.
Absolutely.
And just
But-
to add on,
Sure, please. I was coming to you.
yeah, just to add on to this point, as you were mentioning, that the government has not given some really concrete answers that are they having any contact with the NSO group regarding the Pegasus. I feel that answering that also is a critical point. Answering that also is a critical position, because we have been surrounded by lots of the countries who are constantly attacking us. Okay, so if we answer this question also that we are having this Pegasus with us, that is also a critical point, because they will be monitoring that. Yeah, this government is having signed up with the Israeli organization for this spyware. Maybe they will be more cautious.
Right.
They will be more cautious.
Right.
The constant, the media, all that banging on the parliamentarian, the government, to ask that are you having Pegasus? Are you having a Pegasus? Because answering that also is also posing a threat only, because they will be more cautious, and they won't because the work they are continuously doing to save the country from national security, that will be hampered.
Yes. Now, Rahul, because you mentioned about leaving us pretty soon, but I wanted to ask this question, because I want to ask all of you this question, but since you are in hurry, I wanted to bring this up. Now, this to me appears like a chicken and egg story, which came first. The whole situation is appearing like that, right from Sunday to Thursday, actually Friday. The recent report that I read was up until Friday. Now, it appears to me, what came out first, what is the first thing that prompted this? Because as far as my memory serves me, it was Amnesty and the Forbidden Group. They came out with the initial reports of this being out there, and Pegasus scandal has happened, and mentioned over 45 governments with vetted interests, and over 300 people, over 300 number from India alone being tracked. Now, when different other media organizations which were not in the picture, when they asked them as to what the basis was, or what the foundation was, or where is the legitimate proof to say that this scandal has happened and this person's number was there and this person is being tracked, and most importantly, surveillance is being conducted, there was absolutely no answer. So just help me understand this situation when you don't have basis. And I'm a journalism student, I have to tell you, we follow the 5 principles, the power of 5, right? 5 W's and 1 H. When I see this report, it lacks all of that. It lacks all of it. There is absolutely there isn't a solid evidence. So when you look at it from that perspective, when you don't have all of this, what do you think has media done? And what do you think the organization like Amnesty, why would they do something like this? Because again, we know about the history of Amnesty in India. So Rahul, I want you to quickly tell us, what do you make of this situation? Because there is clearly no solid evidence that we are dealing with. It's just the claims, potential threats, possible, interference and whatnot. So tell us about it.
Okay, so first of all, coming to Amnesty, I think the whole credibility of Amnesty is in question, because they only got the permission to function under FCRA, the Foreign Contribution Regulations Act, back 20 years ago. But after that, which was the permissions were supposed to be taken annually, they did not get any. Yet they were functioning.
Right.
So because of that, also they have to pack their bags and leave. And the NGO regulations that became very strict in the recent regime. So the data, question about credibility does come up when it comes to Amnesty.
Right.
Then the thing about Indian media, unfortunately, in last few years, in last couple of decades, the media is not looking into the presenting the right news. They are only looking forward to present fast news.
No, because
So
I
anything
feel this
that
is
becomes,
gaslighting. This is a case of gaslighting, because when you give a headline like saying that, India's national, security, internal, it's a situation where it's all compromised. When you give something like this, you better come up with facts to, support your claims also, right? But here we have seen
yes,
astonishing amount of claims. We have seen so many claims right from Sunday. And of course, this is a threat, which is why I'm asking this question. This is it's a potential threat. We are sitting on a time bomb. It might explode anytime. Now, my question is, where is the time bomb? I want to know where the time bomb actually is, to understand what are we dealing with. We need to know what's the threat. So yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off. Please go ahead.
No, it's okay. I think it's just like the story of boy who cried wolves. The media is constantly, highlighting issues that are irrelevant or not very well researched. So people will soon start doubting the whole, idea of how media functions. Like
Right.
years ago, when there was media, that was state run only and not very well privatized.
Right.
The facts used to be very well, presented in depth, and clarity was there. Now the facts are very less, and there is even lesser clarity. The only thing that we now know is it's breaking news, and it's coming to us directly from the field, and without any filter. So that's that's the problem. And soon, when someday something really big happens, people will question that last time also the media reported us such a fake news. Why? How do we trust that this is the real wolf?
Sure. Thank you. Aman, do you agree with the fact that media has, perhaps, I'm not saying the media has reported a false story. I would say, much rather say that media's role here, because, when we talk about media and the role of media, we know that they have to present what is there, what is out there for people to see and for people to perceive it as truth. But when media reports, I would say much rather like half-baked truth or half news or half information, do you think media has played a decent role in this entire scandal?
I can say this, even media groups, some media groups are saying the same thing, that this report is based on emotion, inclination,
Right.
and what to say that they used if, might, may, it appears to be like this. They have used words that they can't means if they are asked by the court saying that why did you posted this thing, why did you publish this kind of report,
Right.
they can say this is my opinion, why not I can do this.
Yeah.
Means this is even not enforceable in the court. Even the day before yesterday, one PIL was filed in court, in Supreme Court. I thought that some facts would be given because somebody have gone to file PIL. Then I saw that they themselves are giving the plea that because 17 media organization have reported this thing, that's the reason that you should order or you should ask for a committee to investigate this issue. Means there is a link that that media organization told, that this media organization told, they have published this thing. Like this, there is a network. Okay, means they are taking each and everybody's, they are holding each and everybody's hand, and somebody has done. Means which one is not responsible in that way? Means even Washington Post has posted this. What is the foundation there? They said that somebody has posted. Means like this, there is a good network that is completely visible in the everywhere, that is visible. And you will see that whatever research or whatever is conducted, you will see that that research organization, they publicly they say that this is the way we research, from their data was collected. Means they give the source of the data, they give a round figure idea, they give that this is how they use aesthetics, this is how they use.
Right.
Means they didn't, means a kind, so that expert can analyze and come up with the conclusion that yeah, this I can believe this report. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
So there is nothing
Aman, correct me.
source is that, and you can say that and when their report came, because one day before the parliament monsoon session has to start, one day before monsoon session. This cannot be coincidence, this was told by the IT minister itself. Okay.
Yeah,
Aman,
reminds me of chronology. Rahul, you were saying something. You want to add something, or do you want to say something?
Yeah. Aman, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that media reports are not admissible in the courts. Is that true? I think the courts too do not trust the credibility of
No.
media.
Court can ask. Okay, means if they are publishing, claiming that yes, this has happened, you can sue a media group also. That if
No,
you are,
but a
yeah,
person cannot file an PIL or a case in the courts with
He's
taking
saying based on
media reports in
media
account
reports. Is it
as
possible?
evidence.
Yeah, as evidence.
yeah, you can do. Okay, but here I am saying that media group themselves have to claim this, but they are
Okay.
not claiming that, na.
Right.
They themselves have to claim, na.
Right.
Okay.
But
So
if I'm saying something that this university or some organization has done this thing, and this is my personal opinion under Article 19(2), something like that. I will say like this. Then you will go to enforce me in court. Huh? I will say that it's my expression, my way of expression. What will you do? It's my own observation. It's done.
Yeah.
Court will say that okay, you are right to go. Court will say me.
so
Yes, sir.
before I have
This
some
is what
time
happened.
constraints. Sorry to interrupt.
Right.
I have to leave. So I'll just give my final opinion
Yeah,
that
please. Ashwini and
under
Aman,
section.
just a second. Once we finish with Rahul, I think we can go ahead. Yeah,
Sure.
Rahul, please.
So under Article 19, Section 2, I can give my opinion. So that
please go ahead. Please go
yeah.
ahead.
So that we must question the credibility of the news sources that we are getting, and look who is actually giving us such an information, and we must do our own research before actually going out in public and giving up on our own thoughts and opinions, since they can be questioned, and we should play safe, understand the whole environment of what's happening and who's who.
Yes.
That's all.
So thank you so much, Rahul. I wish I could speak to you more, because I'm pretty sure when it comes to the political aspects, there are so many things that I personally get to learn from you in our daily conversations. If not daily, at least the time we have converse. But thank you so much for carving out time and participating in this discussion. And hopefully we get more time in future to discuss these topics.
Absolutely,
Thank you so much.
It was an honor being in a panel with you guys. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tukha.
So as you guys anyway, but we'll go ahead with the session, because I have a lot more to discuss with you two, Ashwini and Aman, as we are going ahead.
Yeah. Just to add on
please.
Just to add on the claims as you're mentioning. So you were mentioning that every day there are a lot of claims with the media reports. Just to I have what I can say, as per my knowledge, which I researched. Out of that 50,000 numbers which were leaked, only 67 phones have been examined.
Exactly.
Okay. And out of that also 37 were successfully found out that it was infected, or there was a probability of chance of infected, or it was there is a chance of probability of infection. So only 67. So we can't trust upon that all the 50, only 67 was infected, and the 300 which were also leaked, there was chances that maybe it is in the hit list, but it's not been affected, or it's not the attack hasn't been done.
Right.
So I think this report, the claim about the 67 numbers, this should be flashed out more often than that the national security is a threat. Okay. Right. Questioning is good. Claiming is good. I believe that claiming with a fact would add you more credibility, and also it will also ask the person who is going to answer. He or she will be also he will be more responsible to answer you, because you are coming with some facts.
Yeah.
You're coming with some figures. You're coming with some two reports.
Yes.
Or else it is like what I can say, speaking to an empty room, something sort of that.
Exactly. And majorly because NSO says that any data that is requested, any customer of theirs, any government agency, so the data retrieved from that particular target, it can't be tracked back to the government which has requested it.
Yeah.
So now again, my understanding is questioned here, because if the data can't be tracked back to the government agency, then how in the world have you put in the biggest democracy, the largest democracy of 1.3 billion, and I have to go ahead and say that this word was used, authoritarian government, calling the government authoritarian. And now, because why, what goes on further is that we are not talking about an internal matter here which blew out of proportion. If it were an internal matter, then all of us could jump in and have a conclusion, have an opinion about it and all of that. But here we are talking about, on the global platform, calling a nation of 1.3 billion, the largest democracy, calling it an authoritarian government, and saying that, anyone from here on, because I have seen, and my next question actually is about that, is about the reaction to this entire Snoop story, the Snoop scandal, the alleged Snoop scandal. We have seen some people respond to it, and I would like to take Rahul Gandhi as the representative, because he has been, at the epicenter of all of this. Now, let me read out what he said yesterday. And I got this. I fetched this data from ANI, and I found this very interesting. I want you to comment on this and tell me if this response is valid, it's legitimate, or the approach should have been something else. And let me quote here. This is what Rahul Gandhi says, and I quote: Pegasus is classified by the Israeli state as a weapon, and that weapon is supposed to be used against terrorists. The Prime Minister and Home Minister have used this against the Indian state and against our institutions. And yes, he continues, they have used it politically, they have used it in Karnataka, they have used it to scuttle probes, they have used it against the Supreme Court. Now, this is a huge claim again. Supreme Court, the largest institution. Aman would be surprised because he was just talking about Supreme Court. Mr. Rahul Gandhi says that Supreme Court has also been targeted. Now tell me, Aman and Ashwini, first let me begin with Ashwini. Tell me, Ashwini, do you identify with this kind of reaction? Do you agree to this kind of reaction?
Okay. What I can say, the opposition, as he's a leader of the opposition, he's in the opposition team. So he has all power to, what I can say, outburst the government. Okay, he's just outbursting his anger on the government. Okay, just taking the revenges, I feel. Okay, and you were just talking about why the government. It's like only, as you mentioned, it can't be traced back that our Indian government has only looked upon this. Is only spying to this journalist or the government or the Supreme Court. It could be the other countries' government also could be spying our Supreme Court. Sure. Maybe that would be the case.
Yeah.
And if you are commenting, what I can say, is that if you are commenting such a bigger statement to our Indian government, it is like the neighbors, the rivalries, they would be getting an opportunity that internally India is very weak. Okay, the opposition and the leaders, the opposition and the ruling party are in cutthroat competition. Okay, yes. And probably they would, what I can say, Rahul Gandhi would shake hands with the rivalries and blast on the Indian government itself.
Wow.
Yeah, it is like the rivalries are not speaking anything, and this opposition are speaking too loud, without any strong figures, without any strong facts. Without any strong facts, they are just outbursting their anger.
No, okay, because we rely on the opposition. As a country, we rely on the opposition because opposition is our representative to ask questions to the government, right? Because we rely on someone like Rahul Gandhi, we rely on someone like, say Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal. We rely on such people to ask questions to government. But this, Aman, do you agree that this was the question, or this is just another accusation? Because one accusation came from an international organization like Amnesty, saying that India is involved in such a scandal. And another allegation has come now by our own opposition, from institutions of our own government, saying that the Home Minister has to resign, which I don't have a problem as a citizen. It doesn't really matter to me, because personally speaking, it doesn't affect me if a Home Minister resigns or a Prime Minister resigns. Because to me, as a citizen, what I expect is someone better will fill their shoes.
Yeah.
But do you agree when Rahul Gandhi comes out and says that Home Minister has to resign? Great, but Home Minister has to resign with answers. Where are the answers? Do you agree to what Rahul Gandhi says, or do you think there should be more to this?
I would not like to comment on whether Amit Shah should resign or not, but I would like to say one thing. When 17 media organizations, they publish something, okay, and if Rahul Gandhi would not have come like that, okay, and he would not have told anything, I would be disappointed.
Sure.
Okay, because he is in opposition, right? He's supposed to do like that. He's supposed to
Right.
He's supposed to ask government, you have to investigate it.
Sure.
He's supposed to do that.
Right.
So I should not point out Rahul Gandhi. He did his duty. May he will it will work in the next election. It is matter of future observation. It's okay. But I would not like to say that it's his duty. He did okay.
Yeah.
Now whether
But
government should
I'm sorry.
accept it or
I'm
not.
sorry. I'll just add to this. I just have a doubt, just a concern. Along with this reaction, which I also agree, he should have responded. He did respond.
Yeah.
But along with it, is there any other provision that he could have perhaps used, or this is the only thing that he could have done? Perhaps is there anything else? Like maybe filing a case, or maybe taking some stringent measures against people that he doubts. Now that he has openly accused people, so do you think? Why do you think that upon knowing that these people from the government have infiltrated his personal space? Has Rahul Gandhi, did Rahul Gandhi have any other choice to sort of say, for example, lodge a complaint, a police complaint with the
maybe
matter?
in a personal level, I guess maybe in a personal level he can file a complaint because his name was also on the list. So he can say that my right to privacy has been breached.
Yeah,
As
Aman,
it
you're
is on-
saying, yeah.
But police complaint is available for everybody, no doubt. So being opposition, what can he do? That's what they are doing. They can ask for a discussion in the parliament. They can ask to means they can ask in the front line, means they're in the front line fighter. Now you can say that. Now, yeah, okay. So they have to be active. Okay. And I don't know why, if government is not accepting their proposal, why not they should move to the Supreme Court? I don't know. That's already I quoted that maybe they will get a slap. That's the reason that, or else if I can say that if there would be little fact, no, means little facts would be collected by the Forbidden Storage or International Amnesty, means Amnesty International. Then I can say that within 24 hours they would have done this FIR, or they would have approached Supreme Court also.
Sure.
No doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
But there is a doubt because being so big political party, okay, and they have not did anything. They are shouting. That's it. Then this is nothing more than politics. I can say this. I can understand. This is my own observation. Okay.
Sure. Now let me come to Pegasus itself.
Approach president also saying because the opposition is having this this right or this accessibility that they can approach president, they can go to meet president saying that something is really going wrong.
Right.
Okay. Like this, they can go and they can say this.
Yeah, but I don't understand one thing about Pegasus itself, because it's been doing round since many years now. We have seen it's been in the news in the past as well. Why would any government, after knowing, like Ashwini actually mentioned previously in the conversation, like if they already know, if now when asked to NSA about the entire system, about Pegasus itself, NSO said that it is only handed over, only those people afford our services, like intelligence and just to track down criminals and keep an eye on them, keep an eye on their activities. Now it's not an espionage anymore because Pegasus is out there. Like he said, it's already out there for people to see what it is and what it can do. Now I've followed a timeline. It's been there in the news since 2016, perhaps even before that. Why have no government stopped the services? Why are they still continuing then? What's the purpose of continuing Pegasus if it's already out there? If it's not a spy software anyway, anyways, people know about it. In your mind, have you asked this question to yourself, like why Pegasus is still existing? And if it's such a, like a intricate system, why is it still in service?
Ashwini, I think,
sure, Ashwini.
As you mentioned, why is out there right now is that the governments who have been partnered with the organization NSO isn't been clear. Okay, who all are the governments? Who all are the? There are some 30 governments. There are some 30, I guess, around 30 governments who have been partnered with NSO. That is not clear.
Yeah.
Who all are the people? That's also not clear.
Right.
So I guess now it's also in that spy mode only. There are a lot of mysteries around it. There are a lot of things which should be revealed. Okay.
Right.
And why the government haven't been stopped? Right now, the biggest revelations, the biggest reveal of all this project Pegasus
Right.
It was also in 2016, also 2018, I guess. Mark Zuckerberg against Facebook asked that lots of people has been tracked to Pegasus.
Right.
In 2018, I guess there was a case by Mark Zuckerberg, but that was not in a because that was not in news in so big. Okay, which is right now. Okay, maybe I guess the governments are not clear and the people are not clear, so it's now in this spy mode, so it can be used. Okay, and why it should be used is because India has experienced a lot of terrorist attacks. Okay, there are sleeper cells attack, there are 2611 attacks, and for India, I guess it is much needed. There are a lot of people India needs to be tracked, and probably the neighboring organizations, the intelligence organizations of the neighboring countries to stop internal attacks.
Right.
To stop internal attacks, because India, what I can say, since years India has been attacked a lot of times. Made in the Kashmir, made in internally, made with the riots in Delhi, made with the students attacks on Karnataka, also in Tamil. So lots of attacks. So to stop these internal attacks, India needs a spy organization. There are a lot of spy organizations for India, that is NIA, task force, which analyzes the threat analysis. So between this functionalities, they need some, what I can say, they need the software to track on the people, the terrorists, to track on the terrorist groups like Al Qaeda, all this Al Jazeera, track on these terrorist groups. So they need these things.
Sure.
So maybe you mentioned that this, what I can say, the tool has been revealed, but the who is using the users of the tool are not clear.
Yes, very tricky. But
against
Aman,
whom it is being used.
Sorry?
Against whom it is being used. That is
yes.
So it is still a spy. You can't.
but tell me something. What is again a point of concern here? We have spoken of the opposition's reaction. We have spoken of the media, the media outlets and how they've responded to this. I'll come back to the media part again. But before that, I want to know about the government's role in it and the government's hand in it. Now, see, we all have to agree that government has, to a certain degree, gotten its hand in the soil. And we have seen now it's out there because there are so many questions and so many accusations against government. Now, there are two things that appear to my mind when I speak about this government. Number one, the claim, the number that was given to us, 300. Out of that, I have noticed that there are a couple of ministers, the present cabinet, the IT minister, union IT minister. Now, the list is very concocted. It's very vague. It's very random list. Now, Aman, firstly, I want to know from you, the government's role in it, the government, because the government's reaction, the initial reaction we have seen, they've just unabashedly said that we have nothing to do with this. If they have nothing to do with it, two questions. One that I have just asked you, because the list is so weird, the list is so random and it's so vague. Number one, what do you think of the list? And number two, what is government ever going to, according to you, just as a citizen, do you believe that the government will ever set up an independent body, an independent commission, which will look into this matter? Will government ever do that, according to you?
First, before your two questions, I would like to respond for third kind of question that will make you to understanding these two questions. Okay. So first, I will say why people think, what makes people to realize that there is no need of a spyware like this. I think that person has not read the history. Okay. So I think that what happens if you understand the foreign conspiracy, what happens, this war is not fought in one level, means what is visible there, what army fights, what policemen fight, that is not, this war is not fought in this two level. Okay. So this war is being fought on the different level, in different form, in different stage also. Okay. So I would like to say, if you guys if everybody remember, I don't know if you people have heard, you people have definitely heard regarding the you don't take other countries example, take India's example only. Okay. How India tried to divide Sri Lanka once. Do you know this?
Yes.
So what was that issue? That in that was the that time was the Cold War time. between USA and Russia. Okay, right? So in that time, what happened? Sri Lanka gave a small part of land to use to be used by USA. Okay, and against the Russia. Okay, so this happened, and Russia came to India saying that please help me like this, and that time USA was against India also, so that strategically that was not good for India. So what India did that time to protect itself, to protect ourselves, India shook hand with a guy named Prabhakaran, okay, and they said that you did do a revolution there, okay, ask for another country, okay, and you try to divide it, and ultimately what happened that Sri Lanka government came to Indian government asking that whatever you are asking I will give you, okay. Ultimately Sri Lanka government made to run away, snatch that land. They didn't give land to USA. Okay. So ultimately that happened, and that issue what happened, they acquired more than, means the person who revolt against the Sri Lanka government, they acquired more land Sri Lanka government had already. They acquired more land than that. Okay. So what happened? How you don't take other country example. See that how India itself has done sometime someday. Okay. So this strategically diplomatically is done. Okay. So this can be done, and India is a democratic country, so big country having diversity, or what to say, having different ideology, and all every intellectual. You can't say that intellectual were never caught shaking hand with third power to enforce or to implement their own ideology by sending their which supports their ideology, okay, which political party supports their ideology. It happens, it is seen already many times. Even you can say that Ravi Shankar, yet he directly said in the Pakistan in some platform, saying that you bring me in a ruling party, as a ruling party, I will help you. Sudden something said, and that issue came up. I think it is 3-4 years before only, means 4-5 years before. So this is seen, and you can't say that's why India or government, somebody should not think like that. India is not supposed to do like that. They have to do. Government will do wrong things when they will put our chat in the social media platforms, publicly. That the government, I will be against the government.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Now I will be not against the government, because anything can happen. India has government is responsible to retain the integrity of the India, to retain the integrity from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, right?
Yes.
So it has to happen, and I'm not against that. Yeah, you can say that if it is happening illegally, yeah, you can approach. Already the procedure is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But is this like, as you rightly mentioned, when it comes to, I totally, by the way, very valid points. I totally agree with what you said. But when it comes to our own citizens, when it comes to our own institutions, like Mr. Rahul Gandhi had, like I said in that thing that I read, he has raised questions about the Supreme Court itself as an institution, as the highest institution of this country. When allegations have been placed, and when it's said that even the Supreme Court is under threat. So in this circumstance, what kind of answers should government give? What kind of answers and what kind of a reaction should government give? Do you think, like I said in the question, do you think, will the government ever do a investigation in any government, not just the BJP government, the current ruling government, any government in this place, be it Congress or any other government, would they have, according to you, I'm just asking you personally, on a personal level, would they have done an investigation
Supreme
at
Court
all?
itself can.
I'm sorry?
Supreme Court, Supreme Court itself can take so much, na? If it is urgent, so urgent. If it is
Right.
so, huh?
Well said. Well said.
Supreme Court itself can take this.
Sure. Now,
So it
Ashwini,
happened
back to you.
politically.
Just a couple of more questions, and then we'll come to an end. So, what kind of global conventions or what kind of regulations, according to you, should be set up now that we have learned, now that we have addressed the political part of it, and what are the provisions and what can be done and why is it being done? I just want to know. I want to get to the consequence part of it. If something of this level has happened, what, according to you, what kind of regulations need to be set up to ensure that the citizens of this country, their data, their systems, their smartphones, all their devices are safe? What kind of regulations, in your opinion, should be applicable here?
Okay. So according to me, as I can say, is that UN should step in. Okay.
Right.
UN should step in along with the ICJ. Okay. So what I can do, they can create some treaties between the organizations that the Pegasus which has been which they are going to use. Okay. Is only limited to the people who are going to, who are terrorists, or who has some, what I can say, who have some strong facts of being in a posing a national security. Okay. If they found if any of the if any of the government found that it was used in a wrong person, so they can probably answer, they will probably ask the so they can ask this question to the government, to that specific government in the assembly, UN assembly.
Right.
Okay. And the second thing would be, I guess the citizens should be set free. Okay. They should be also, they should trust their government, because they have elected them for the for protecting their rights. Okay. And if they feel like it is when their right has been breached, so they are free to enter, what I can say, raise up questions in the Supreme Court.
Sure.
And for the, in personal level, if I talk about the government and also the global organizations, I feel that the, as what I can say, when India talked about that Chinese apps are going to be a threat for the data privacy, so they have taken up the steps to ban the Chinese apps.
Sure.
Okay, the Chinese app, they have taken up the step to ban the apps. So likewise, UN can make some rules for Data Act. Okay, I guess there should be there must be acts on data. Probably that could be revised. That could be revised more often, and there should be more acts on the data information, protecting this privacy part for individual persons, so that individual persons can also approach to the global justice, for the global justice, not only in their own government, also for the global justice. If they feel that they have been their privacy has been breached, they can also approach to the global, in a global scale, to the global to the global justice. Okay, for attaining the justice. So moreover, they can talk about the treaties between the government and revising the data information privacy rules.
I'm sorry, Aman, you were saying something. Yeah. Please.
I'm saying that Asmi is talking about to approach global international court. Are you talking about?
Yeah, international courts. If what I can say, when moreover, like WWF, like World Wildlife Fund, and also the what I can say, the human rights organizations, when they feel like an Indian citizen human rights has been snatched away, so they come into play. Okay, so probably the citizens can so the citizens can approach on this.
No. Indian citizen can't go to international court without consent of Indian government.
No. I don't. I'm talking about the human rights organization. The human rights organization. The international. Talking about the human rights organization.
Right.
Okay.
But one thing, since we are talking about the investigation of this matter, we spoke about that, and how, and we all hope at this point, Indian government actually, does arrive at a point. I mean, let's not talk about the investigation being conducted later on in future, maybe if that situation arises. I also want to ask, now that these baseless accusations were forwarded and they were put on the pedestal, and we all saw that, don't you think that there should be investigation done on these 17 media organizations as well? Because they have certain answers. They are liable. They are supposed to answer to some of the questions, because some of the legitimate questions were raised by different other media organizations, stating that give us the legitimate numbers. And like Ashwini mentioned, when they threw the number 50,000, and then they go on to say that an organization such as Amnesty, which the word amnesty means pardon, and they should pardon the entire world right now, because they have not given the exact numbers. And now on Thursday, they have the gall to say that we lost translation. They said that while we were translating the statement that was in Hebrew to English, they're saying that no, actually our language was very clear. You guys did not understand. You did not. This is a global embarrassment, if you ask me. And why it rattles my mind is because along with being a global embarrassment, now they have taken India into the foray, and they're stating that India is also involved in this scandal. Don't you think the investigation not only applies to Indian government, which I believe Indian government is supposed to answer to questions, but some questions are to be answered by these media organizations as well. Don't you think, Aman? Don't you think, Ashwini?
See, you have to understand this is targeted, specifically this is targeted, this is being targeted, means against the India only it is. How you can say that among all 45 countries, only democratic country is India there, okay? So that because human rights comes out there in all other countries, because all them, most of them are either monarchy or dictator kind of country. So human rights are not so active as it is active in India or USA, like this kind of country. So they know that what kind of scenario I have to make, okay, so that explosion will happen. They are good in that. You have to salute for that.
Of course. You have something to add, Ashwini?
Yeah, certainly. As you mentioned, that amnesty should be inquired upon, and also the media organization also should be inquired upon, that on what basis, on what circumstances they're putting up these acquisitions. Okay,
right.
Because targeting an
Indian.
Yeah. Seem to be experiencing a little glitch, but anyway, Ashwini, go ahead until he comes in.
So I guess targeting a government, that's a huge job, and they're doing. So the media is doing a good part on it, but baseless accusations, I feel that there is it's like shouting on without any facts.
Exactly.
So probably the international organizations and they should take up this. They should take up this matter to the assembly, and also ask these Amnesty International and also the media organizations who are putting up these facts.
Welcome back, Aman. You were stuck somewhere in between. It's okay.
Oh,
am I audible?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Just a couple of more questions. So the first one is Amit Shah, Home Minister Amit Shah. His response was the classic response, the one response that he's been hanging by, since so many days. Aap chronology samjhiye. Please understand the chronology. I have translated that. What is your take on this statement for this particular context, as far as Pegasus is concerned? Please, Aman, you are saying something. Yeah.
So chronology has to be understood. This is told by our Home Minister Amit Shah. So there is directly indicating the coincident, as it is told by all 17 media organizations. This is coincident, that means Parliament, this session has to start, and one day before they came up with a report. So this was not a coincidence. That's what they're making to understand the chronology, so that opposition. See, first of all, if I understand how business students find out the social issue to start a startup. Okay, in the same way, political party find out a social issue to start to put something in the parliament. Okay. That is their way of working. Okay. So if they don't go with some protest, okay, it will be like that they are not alive. Okay.
But there were legitimate issues also, na? There were legitimate issues, like, because people are talking about now that we have just, we are just getting out now because of coronavirus. We were all stranded at our places, and there are legitimate issues like fuel hike. So many people are, absolutely. Personally, in my life, that has brought about a havoc. Issues like fuel price, or the, just the inflation, the kind of inflation.
That is completely matter of economics. That is completely another.
But when we talk about the parliament, when these issues are to be addressed in parliament, what my mind fails to register at this point is, why all of a sudden, bringing in, something like this, which again requires so much of investigation, so much of time, so much of money, so much of resources. That was the thing that I was understanding. But anyway, before you come on to that, I'll just plug in my last question to this, and then you can express everything you wish to. You can cover everything. My last question will be a very emotional question to you, since we are dealing with emotions ever since this case has come in. ever since this scandal has come to the picture, my one emotional question to you, I've seen this everywhere. That is why I've come up with this question. Gentlemen, is democracy in threat? Is my simple question to you. In your view, in your ideology, according to you, is our democracy in threat? 1.3 over 1.3 billion population, so many issues, so many people, diversity, cultural and traditional, diversity. We are seeing this country, and we are in this country. We are born in this country. I want to ask you: is our country in threat? Is the democracy in threat? We'll start with Ashwini. Aman, I know you have a lot to say.
Just because another ideology.
I'm so sorry. I'm extremely sorry.
Sorry.
I know you have a lot to say. I know, but I'm so sorry. Ashwini, we'll start with you.
Okay, so talking about democracy and threat, I don't feel like the democracy is threat. Okay, because the people who are in the own cabinet, their numbers are also in the list. Okay, so you can't say that only the opposition has been fired upon, only the judiciary has been fired upon, the journalists has been fired upon, because everyone, as you said, the list was very vague.
Right.
The list was very vague, and it's like randomly everyone is in the list. Okay, so I don't feel that the democracy is in threat. Okay, on a personal level, and as Aman said that it is Indian democracy is the biggest. Indian democracy is the biggest democracy, and out of the 45 countries, India is a country which is only in the for have a democratic form of government.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the reason all the media organizations are targeting us.
Yeah.
Okay, and if it's the role of the government, they will protect on their part.
Yeah.
They will take the necessary steps to protect the democracy, and also they're doing. I think they're doing their bit. They're doing their bit very. What I can say, they're doing the bit very fluently. They're doing their bit on their part to protect the democracy. So I don't feel like the democracy is in threat in any ways.
Okay.
Maybe the government should be more proactive in suspecting that if the Supreme Court, if the people who are in the cabinet, the people who are in the opposition, the people who are in journalists, is any other government is attacking on us. Is there any other government is trying to breach the privacy of these people who are on the list? Maybe so the list is not equal. So the list is not what I can say. The list is not the correct list, as we have already. The results are not examined yet. The results are not successful. That the Pegasus has been used. Right. But probably for the people who have been checked on, they can be there will be a cross verification. There will be a cross check that. Is any other government is doing something to hamper the security of our country? So they can be more proactive on this part, and to protect this. But our own government is not a threat for against democracy, not violating the principles. Because if it would be, then there would be no person from their own cabinet. The IT minister who has been just elected. During the cabinet reshuffle.
Because that clearly shows the government. If there is anything that we should accuse the government of, I think the government is going by the structure, going by this whole structure of the Pegasus and the previous week and all of that. There's one conclusion we can draw: is the government is weak, it's fragile, and it is easily it can be easily infiltrated, and it can easily be created into a discourse. So if anything else, if we can accuse anything of, if we can accuse the government of anything, we should accuse it of being slightly weak and fragile in this section at least. So Aman, what are your views?
Yes, bro. Can you repeat the question?
I'm so sorry. Lost in translation. I'm so sorry.
Breaking voice is also breaking because I'm
right. So Aman, am I audible now?
Yeah.
So this was my last question. If you want to plug in anything, you can. Is democracy of India in threat? Was my question.
What? Okay. I can say. I will start with a.
No, just personally, not giving facts and figures, but personally. Just personally.
Yeah, I will because that question itself is a critique. So I will start with a critique that.
Sure.
So whatever is being told by opposition or whatever. Okay. So being a citizen, okay, what I can think, okay, that's what I'm going to answer. Being a citizen, I'm not thinking in the favor of opposition or in the favor of ruling party.
Right.
Okay, so now when I go to vote, okay, somebody has told this, and and this point I like, and then that's why I'm trying to put it here. So somebody has told that when I go to vote somebody, the person whom I am going to vote, either that person is an idiot, okay, either that person is idiot, or the person who believes who believes that all other person are idiot, okay, means all other person are idiot. Once suppose all other persons are idiot, okay, and the person whom I selected, he is also maybe he is in my favor, okay, but he thinks that all other person are idiot. So that is a good critics that is being told in the, you will find this in the political book.
Of course.
Okay. So in the both cases, I'm having disadvantage. Okay, and for the both people or for everybody, you will find the critics, and the democracy will be in the under threat or whatever it is. Okay, there must be some supportive sentence also, so that I can counter it well. And as they have come up with the some assumption that their data is being hacked, all these things, but there because of lack of supportive evidence, it is being it was not it will be not longer a topic to discuss in the public domain. Okay, so this thing will be issue. I don't know why always there is some lines in the opposition party that democracy is under threat. I don't want to speak more in the favor of ruling party also. I
Sure.
think this that opposition is also equally responsible, as I have already told you that it is opposition is also equally responsible for whatever is happening here.
Right.
Okay, because whatever action will be taken by the government, whatever decision will be taken, may that decision or that action will be again may that fall or that will be against the nation, or that will be not so productive as much it is assumed. So that time when in after two generation, okay, some student will be reading that this government has took this decision, right?
Right.
So and this decision made, or this decision gave this much disadvantage, okay, because of that particular action. Okay, so that student, what happens, that political student or a political science student, he will look for the who was the opposition there,
Right.
why didn't he oppose there.
Right.
So opposition is also responsible. As together, the history is written now when some action is taken or whatever is being done by government. When history is written, together with opposition, history is also written.
Of course.
Okay. So they have their responsibility and let them do. And I think that if they're right, they know better what to do to do investigation, all this. I don't, that's the reason I said that when yesterday Rahul Gandhi came and he spoke saying that he should resign or what, that should be we should take as a inherent response by the opposition. I don't take it negatively.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Just to add on, what I feel is that as you mentioned about democracy threat, so it's like together all are part of it. As Aman mentioned, that the opposition is also in the role. It's like the democracy is for the people, by the people, of the people. So
Exactly.
I guess we are also part of it. We are also equally have the role, collectively have the role. The media organization, the judiciary, the executive, the legislature, the opposition government, the ruling government, and also the media. Everyone has a role to protect this democracy. It's not only the people who are in the path only have the role, but I feel that everyone has a role to protect this democracy if it's in threat.
Absolutely. And I feel, dissent in the right way, dissent to the exact topic. Like, for example, I'll just give you an example of what happened recently about the fuel price hike. And I don't know how many, if the both of you followed that trend on social media where everybody put out a photo folding their hands and, before a photo of Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister. That campaign was run out. Now, that's the kind of dissent we want. That's the kind of protest we want. It was a very subtle way of telling that we are, this is a very serious thing for us. It matters to us. And that kind of dissent is something that I also, would love to be a part of. And, other than, apart from just, basing my entire argument on baseless accusations like the one happened with Pegasus, because Pegasus essentially means that, again, there'll be investigation, again, there'll be a lot of time. And at the end of the day, if Pegasus scandal turns out to be false, then what do we do then? So many days that have been wasted, so much of time that has been wasted. So I feel dissent and protest in the right way should solve the matter. So I think with that, we come to an end of this session. Aman, if you want to add something, do you want to add something?
Can I make one? Can I make a point against NSO?
Yeah, please. You want to say something against NSO? Yeah, please.
Yeah, because when I read this, some statement, I read NSO what they released a statement. So they themselves are saying once that NSO does not operate the system and has no visibility to the data. Okay. So whatever once they have sold the system or whatever the software, whatever it is, they sold this and they don't have accessibility to that. And again, they are saying this thing also that that Amnesty or whatever it is, or all other organization, anything. So again, NSO is saying. One point is there. Jamal Khashoggi point is there.
Yes.
Again, how can he confirm this that NSO this Pegasus was not used against the Jamal Khashoggi? So again, you making one point also that NSO does not operate the system and has no visibility to the data. Okay, whatever is being done by using their spyware. Okay, later whether they can do investigation or not, a technical person can understand this. Okay, but parallelly he can't come to know. If he knows, then there is a contradiction in their own statement. What I could be able to detect, maybe it can be challenged as per my understanding.
So you did you mention that Jamal Khashoggi was himself hacked, and was he tracked? I'm sorry, I'll just add to that, because I heard that his wife or some of his relatives were their numbers were hacked. So what's the case here? What's the
whoever were hacked? No, I don't have question on that. I'm saying that how NSO came to know that that its software were not used against them, means against Jamal Khashoggi. Because NSO is claiming this thing also that, and once their software or their spyware is being sold, again they don't have accessibility that where it is being used. NSO doesn't monitor that thing. Okay, so that thing NSO themselves itself is saying. Okay, now again this thing is also being used. So this is not clear. Maybe some gray part what I could able to detect it. I just detected. This is gray part of this.
I believe a little bit of investigation. I think that's exactly what we are expecting from the government also at this point. Now that all of this has been exposed.
This thing also, NSO is saying this thing also that none of the media organization, they have not shared any data. Okay, any data or any mobile number, whatever it is, and they didn't confirm, saying that yes, and they didn't get approval of NSO that yes, these mobile numbers were used against you or anybody. Okay, NSO themselves are not approving this thing. Okay, NSO is not approving. Now, one more technical question, if I would like to raise that, what kind of software this Amnesty International or anybody using that they hacked the NSO spyware and they came to the
Maybe that's exactly what we are talking about here, because when Amnesty was asked the same question, when the same question was posed to them, there was absolutely no answer. That's exactly what we.
What kind of software being used again by the Amnesty International or Forbidden Stories or anybody? So they could able to hack the
NSO itself. Yeah, that's a huge, again. That's one. It's a brilliant point actually, because we don't know, because NSO itself says that in fact it's so intricate, the system, you can't track it back to the government agency that has hired its services. Then how did Amnesty leak the data? And it's a brilliant question. I think it's a very technical question, and we can hope to find answers. Maybe, I don't know, because
maybe what I feel is that the government.
But NSO.
Aman, one second. Ashwini, yeah, you were saying something.
Maybe the global organizations can have a collective investigation on NSO, as Aman was mentioning about the data leak. Probably on this side, is it on this side or is it from someone else? Probably there should be a collective investigation from the NSO and the Amnesty International. And what I feel is that talking about this Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi Arabian journalist, maybe NSO has got some information from the government, from the Saudi government or the person or some of the other government who has given him the who has given them the information for this Pegasus part. Maybe. Maybe that would be the case also.
Because see, the entire thing is based on assumptions, so we are also free to assume things here. So
but
I don't.
NSO group is giving, but NSO source is hinting us to come to know that from where they came to know all this data. Okay, they are in the third point. You can say in the NSO, whatever the statement released, NSO group has a good reason to believe the claims that are made by unnamed sources to forbidden stories are based on misleading interpretation of data from accessible and overt basic information such as HLR lookup service, which have no bearing on the list of the customer target of Pegasus or any other NSO product. Means they are not targeting all those customers also. Such services are openly available to anyone, anywhere, and anytime. Okay, means they can come to know about all this data by using all these services, HLR services, and whatever it is. Many services are there already available in the domain, in the public domain.
Of course.
So they can come to know about all this data by using all those also, and they can target Pegasus because Pegasus it was already exposed once, and yeah, you can say this. So this is one of the indicative things. And by using all those software spyware, they will come to know all those data, and then they will say that this is the indicatives that Pegasus was being used by this Indian government or any government, so to monitor the common people, journalists, like this they can say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else that you want to add or anything else that you want to discuss? Because you're the students and you would, like I said at the beginning, you would have fresh perspectives and insights that we can dwell on. So Aman and Ashwini, if there is anything else that you would like to add, or if there's anything else that I have perhaps missed out on, and if you feel so now's the time, because I believe sure, please, Ashwini.
I guess I would just want to share my incident. Probably, actually, recently only some 20 days back only, my laptop was infected with this ransom virus.
Okay.
So it was a ransomware. Okay, so it was attacked with ransomware, and I was probably as citizen, the concerns are right. I feel that the concerns are right. Okay, maybe the accusations are not right. So if accusations are made, they should be backed with the fact. Okay.
Sure.
So the concerns are right. As a citizen, it's my concern. I was very tense because all my data was locked. Okay, by the attackers, and they were asking me some $987 as a ransomware, as a ransom money. Okay, so it was .PIIQ ransomware. So right now, when we are, what I can say is that it's not only the wars we are happening only in the borders. Okay. Right now, we are also going to have this information war, because information is a new oil. Information, the data is a new oil in this present organization, in the 21st organization. So there will be biological attacks. There may be biological attacks. The data which is required, as Aman was mentioning, cybersecurity. Because when we just lock up this data of the government. I can say, I can remember there was an attack in 2006 and 7, the ransom virus attack, where the whole government was in disguise. The government operations were all stopped. And in Germany also in 2013, there was an attack where all the bullet trains and also the local trains were stopped because of the control was over on the attackers. So there was a great loss to the economy of the government and also to the attack to the data of the citizens.
Sure.
So this is a new with the advancement of technology, we are entering to new forms of wars, probably from internally and externally, internally within the system and also externally from the other governments.
Of course.
So we should. So it's like the cybersecurity, all that technology should be ethical hacking should be more promoted, and it opens up lots of avenues to lots of opportunities for as a student I'm talking about. It opens up to lots of opportunities to the students to come into ethical hacking as a career. Okay, to probably protect the nation, to protect the organizations, and to protect the different individuals.
Absolutely, totally agreed. It's a huge question mark on cybersecurity, and like you said, information. We are living in the information era, so got to be very careful. And like you said, promoting ethical hacking, and because there are many lines that needs to be blurred now because information has come, and now we are accessible. We are under the radar. Even before the Pegasus scandal came into picture, we have read and we have understood how we are constantly under the radar in some way or the other.
Yeah.
We are under the radar because we're using so many devices and so many new technologically advanced devices. So that's a point well made. And Aman, you want to add something, or shall I shut doors like Amnesty?
Done, I think.
Yeah, are you done? Okay. Anyway, that was a very enriching session, I must say, because I thought we can restrict it to an hour or so, but it's well over 6 o'clock now, and it's gone for over one hour now. It's 1.5 hours. So allow me to thank both of you for doing this. Allow me to thank both of you for giving us so many perspectives, so many new ideas, so many new things to dwell on, because I was looking up during my research and during the study for this session. I was looking at so many things and so many content which was telling me about the consequence of the aftermath of this scandal and the whole issue, now that it's out in open. And this kind of gave me a new perspective to think about. Now I'll think in a new direction, and hopefully our viewers will also carry out something new to think about as far as the Pegasus is concerned. I had a very enriching time. I hope you both had a good time as well. Again, thank you very much, and special thanks to all our viewers for joining in. And this was Express with Ease, our weekly segment. We'll be back next week with another hopefully insightful and enriching session. On that note, thank you very much, and thank you, Aman, and thank you, Ashwini, for joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving us to speak something about regarding this.
Thanks, Beauty, for this chance.